I'm at the corner of 2nd Street in Berwick, Pennsylvania, and I'm here at the Berwick Area United Way building. And I'm going to be talking to Ginny Crake, who is their director. This is connected to a lot of the other Berwick interviews I've been doing. And this is one of the boxes where you can drop stuff off for people to use, or if you need something, and it's here, you can get it, no questions asked. Just some basic stuff if you're in a bind. Okay, so I'm going to go on in here, and I think gold is a great color for the door, since it's all about opportunities. And here's Ginny Crake.
Hi.
I can tell you that I know for certain there are several communities locally who would like to clone Mrs. Crake. She's doing a remarkable job here, and I couldn't leave her out of the list of people I had to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just start with this spread here on the table. What's going on with this?
We have what is always a good time is called Stuff the Bus, where we collect school supplies for our area kids so that they're ready and excited for the start of school.
Excellent, excellent. It speaks to a change in times, because when I was a little kid, they gave us the crayons, they gave us the pencils, the paper. Yeah.
You might find that at the elementary school level, but no further than that. Our middle school and high school kids definitely need to bring their own stuff.
Right. Well, even when I taught special ed in Missouri, I taught in a very impoverished area, which is how my student loan got forgiven, which was for which I'm thankful. But I had to supply an enormous amount of stuff.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have,
Yeah.
But I know it's an increasing problem. That's great. That's great. About how many students do you know are in the Berwick School District?
Total or the ones that are low income?
Total. Start with that.
Actually, I'm not sure.
Okay.
A lot.
I think it's over 2,500, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
And I would say that 60% of them are free and reduced lunches, that they qualify for that.
Wow.
We collect 520 some backpacks, but we don't just leave them to give them to all to Berwick. We go to Northwest, Central, Bloomsburg, and so our reach is far greater than just the Berwick area.
Right. Yeah, I know you have a very overlapping reach with some other areas.
Yeah.
Okay, Ginny, why don't we sit down for a minute?
All
Oh,
right.
and I like these. That's pretty cool. That's the way it ought to be where everybody works. I'm lucky. Right now, my real estate office for the last several years has become very much that, and it's a lot of fun, and we laugh a lot, and that's a pretty good deal.
I don't know, for those that go to work every day and hate it, it doesn't exist here. We certainly enjoy each other's company and have a good time.
I have gotten that impression every time I've stopped in.
Yes.
There's a considerable amount of laughter as well as hard work here, and that's critical.
It is.
What's the point of United Way? It's down to the nitty-gritty.
That's a strong first question, MJ.
My nature.
So I think that what the United Way really is a reflection of our community. So what the community needs from us is what we give them. And so oftentimes people ask us, well, what do you do? We do what our community wants us to. And so when you see One United Way, you've seen One United Way. We all fall under the broad category of fighting for the health, education, and financial stability of our citizens in our communities. But how we fight for the education or how we fight for financial stability is different because it is what is unique to our community and what works within our community. So it's not an easy question to say what do we do, because we do a lot and we do it all, and we support and we fill gaps. We have tough conversations about issues people don't want to have tough conversations about, and so we're a little bit of everything. is what
Give
we
me
are.
an instance of a tough conversation. What's that look like?
So about 2 years ago, we were told, maybe 3 years ago, we were told that 10% of the middle school's behavioral problems came from the same address. And rather than pretending like that didn't exist, we went into that address and we had a community roundtable where 50 to 70 people showed up, 50 people showed up, and we had a really delicate conversation about where they live, how they live, and safety issues, and where I'm talking about is Lark and Sparrow. And so what we've done there, rather than being afraid of talking about poverty or health concerns or safety concerns, we went in there and we started having those conversations, and tremendous things have happened in that park since then.
Excellent, excellent, and it's necessary to have these conversations.
Yeah.
You know, I'm involved in the social equity group in Bloomsburg.
Yes.
I was involved in the racial equity group that preceded that, and it's the same kind of thing. It's the hard conversations that you have to have. So I know there's something about United Way. I remember years ago, because I worked in a couple industries in this area, including lifestyle homes and Luzerne outerwear a long time ago. We had deductions. We had to agree to it, but we had deductions from our pay, and I never minded. It wasn't a big chunk of money, and it was just everybody kicked in. So all that money went into a pot, and we had a list of places it went. How was that list of places generated? Where's that come from?
So that's the traditional model of just having the same 14 agencies that you always give money to. In the last 5 years, we've shifted away from that model to a more broad and open model where we're saying those dollars that your payroll deduction contributes to goes to grants under financial stability, health, and education, and then all 501c3s, all nonprofits are allowed to write grants for that money. And so we have historically been associated with the Red Cross or the YMCAs because those are the dollars that we have always historically given to those agencies. But now but the whole United Way community wants to see greater change, wants to see greater collaboration, and so the grant process allows us to force groups to work together, share resources, be innovative, and really start changing, moving the needle is what we always call it, moving the needle on social issues like poverty, housing, food security, those things like that. So we've shifted, but it's still, payroll deduction is still the easiest way to give.
Well, sure. Obviously, and you don't have to think about it.
You don't. It doesn't hurt to have $1 out of your paycheck. You don't even.
Right.
It's not.
You don't see it,
it's
right?
Easy.
So, in terms of collaboration, then you're looking at perhaps a reduction of duplicating efforts because there are a lot of charities. I see all kinds of them, and I belong to a couple of 501c3 groups where what one is doing seems to be virtually identical with another one.
Yeah.
And my question is always, where are the egos involved? And that's got to be very delicate for you to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that sometimes duplication is great. I would argue that things for teens to do can be duplicated forever because they're fickle and they change their minds and you want to capture as many as possible.
Sure.
But duplication of food resources on the same day at the same time, those types of things, those can change.
Right.
And so when we talk about collaboration, it's about how are you serving the same population with limited resources, with potentially collaborating with the same people working, the caseworkers working with these folks, and how do you get as many resources to them to where they are at rather than forcing them to come to all of us.
Okay. Resource allocation getting funneled more efficiently.
Yeah. So here's a great example of collaboration that started through our grant process. They never worked before, but it was the Volunteers in Medicine and the dental clinic here in Berwick, and they share a lot of the same clientele. And through our grant process of asking for the health of dental and vision and all that type of health needs, they came and said, we'll have patients from the Columbia Montour or the VIM get referred to the dental clinic, and with the United Way money, they'll be able to cover both their doctor's visit and their dental visit.
Very cool.
And so now they work together. Now it's a fluid system that their patients work within, and it was because of our grant money opening up to those two groups.
Okay, that's a very neat example. It's a very neat example. Tell folks, because you know and I know what a 501c3 is.
Yeah.
What's a 501c3?
So it's basically your typical nonprofit. You are allowed to have tax exemption. We don't pay taxes, those types of things, and you're allowed to take charitable gifts. It is your standard nonprofit that you think of, all of the American Red Crosses, the Salvation Armies, they're all 501c3s.
Okay. How does one be one? I know of a couple of 501c3s that are essentially mom and pop operations. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but how do they get there?
Well, so it's not as easy as you think. There's state registration, there's federal registration, and then there's upkeep. And so there's payments that go with those registries. There's having a board and minutes and following legal procedures and audits and all those types of things. So it's not something that's easily maintained. And for those mom and pop nonprofits, it's important for them to maintain those types of things. But in fact, if I bring it back to the United Way has a program where we become your fiscal agent. So like we did with the pool and the theater, before they became nonprofits, because sometimes it could take a while,
Right.
They acted under our umbrella. So if there's folks out there in your following that want to have to do charitable things and they have a passion for a cause, but don't want to go through the whole nonprofit process, they can come under our umbrella and we can manage their funds, become the nonprofit for them. They can do the work, but we deal with the paperwork.
Ah, okay, that's big. I didn't know that.
It is.
Okay, yeah, that's a very neat thing to add to it. How did you get involved with something like this?
As in my job here at the United Way, it was a miracle upon miracle. The stars aligned, and I became the CEO of the Berwick Area United Way. It is exactly where I'm supposed to be and meant to be, and it is a dream come true job. It is flexible with my family. It is, it warms my soul and fills me up as a person, and I feel like every day is something new and different, and it's allowing me to serve the community I love and grew up in. So.
How did you get to it?
I was born and raised in Berwick. I moved away for a while for college and then for my career for a couple years. And then when it came to having babies, I came home and I applied. that's how it worked, MJ. That's really how it worked.
Okay, all right. You have a lot of the same energy and passion that Kara Walsh has on the traveling bookmobile for the county. And anybody watching these will see that. Jenny, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, MJ.
Do you have anything you want to throw into the pot?
No, I just want anyone to say, if you're watching this, that giving to the United Way and donating to the United Way wherever you are, you should feel good about it. We're a trustworthy organization. We don't have a lot of overhead, and you can hold the dollars that you give to us accountable to our agencies and to the work in our community. So it's a good place to give.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.